it, or are you just recording while I fix my hair?
I am recording.
That's what
Well,
I
I'm HR, so.
Yeah.
I just realized he's like, yeah, I'm over here doing my hair, and he's recording.
right.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's all good.
You're
We're good.
welcome.
We've
We're
done
on.
worse.
I'll do
on.
mine next.
Welcome back.
Beautiful.
You're here.
Hey, I'm back.
Great. For 1 week, and then you're gone again.
Yeah.
Right?
She's
Yes.
a busy.
I'm busy, but you know what?
Busy woman.
If I could choose to be anywhere, it would be right here at this table with you guys, because you're my favorite people.
Aww.
Yeah.
Don't tell her husband and kids.
Well, yeah, I wasn't going to throw that out there, but I guess, yeah, that's
I figured
probably
she was gonna be
true.
like, besides my husband.
Besides-
Didn't even qualify it. Didn't even qualify it. We got
They
we
know.
got top billing. Yes.
They know.
It goes without saying.
Yes.
Goes without saying.
So, club last week was good. As good as it could be without me
Yeah,
here.
it was
yeah,
good.
no, it was good.
Yeah, and we had a cancellation, but we
Yeah.
made it.
You made
we
it happen.
Awesome.
It was awesome.
Randy's awesome.
My mom listened, and she was like, "You guys, that was like the best club ever."
Yeah.
Well, it's
You
because.
notice who will who's
Yeah.
on there.
Well, it's because.
Cam
I think that's
Rand.
why.
Because Randy planted his seed in her to make you.
Oh, whoa.
Oh my gosh,
Oh, whoa.
no.
Oh wait, no, Randy's not really your dad.
No, and we really
Steve
were
is?
just talking
Okay.
about Steve's.
Comb. Yes, you do have Steve's comb over going.
Thank
so.
you. Thank you. I
And his-
appreciate
and his
that.
forehead.
Anyway, dang, next
That
subject. What are we
forehead-
talking about today,
That
guys?
forehead's not there anymore.
That forehead brought to you by Lux.
Brought to you by
Beautiful.
Lux.
Look at these. Oh,
The forehead.
I'm
the
trying to
cheeks.
embrace, but I can't. I'm just really
Are
struggling.
you? Are
with
you?
it.
Yeah. You're so all that money that you're funneling toward club volleyball and
Yeah.
all the other stuff that
Would
you're
normally
like
go in
thinking,
her face.
It would
It
be
would
on your
be in my face,
and now
but-
you're like, I think my face needs some
Trying to
money.
prioritize, but when every time I smile now, I'm like, God, Ash, quit smiling.
I
Stop looking at it.
I think it
Put my
looks
blinders
great.
on.
I think
Thanks.
it looks great.
It's-
No,
talk about all natural.
You're embracing it.
Yeah.
That's what you should do.
I mean, eventually I'm going to have to, so I guess why
Yeah.
not start now?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Talk about
Preventative.
embracing. I've embraced some news stories recently that we were talking about. So you sent some stuff last night.
Mm-hmm.
I will admit I had a couple beers. So when I sent back my response and you made fun of
Blah,
me, I
blah,
was
blah, 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 blah. I'm like, are you drunk? Yeah. Ass hat or whatever it was. Ass bag,
ass
whatever
bag.
it is. Yeah.
I like
I
that
was
one.
like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
but we were talking about, you had a couple different things that you wanted to cover. I think it's all great stuff. So let's get in it.
I want to talk first about, we were talking about preventative.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
like, let's talk about, one of the subjects that you suggested was we chat a little bit about the Bookmobile ban on Catholic grounds.
Yes.
Now, just to dive into that real quick, so can you explain what happened real quick?
Yeah, basically, this Monday, the Blessed Sacrament School sent out a notice in its bulletin that said basically, no, the Bookmobile would not be allowed on Catholic school property because of the contents of the Bookmobile, which include some of the questionable, some people find the material offensive, even though it is put in sections where kids aren't supposed to get it. Some kids were apparently seeing it anyway and getting it anyway. That was a problem for some people, and so the Catholic Church. This was kind of a top-down initiative. I believe it came from the priests and stuff. Said, look, we're just not going to have it on here anymore. So the Bookmobile is no longer allowed on Catholic grounds. Now the Quincy Catholic Elementary School group said,
Easy for
trying
you
to
to
work
say.
on it, trying to find a plan, trying to find common ground here. But it looks like the library is pretty. They said they're pretty staunch in that they're going to put out the books that they want to put out. So.
And then the public school media coordinator,
Anna
I believe,
Oakley
Oakley said they will still be coming to QPS regardless.
Yeah.
Maria Eberhardt Sparrow made a
My
fabulous. Yeah, I figured.
Aren't you really?
Yeah,
She's
no
my
kidding.
cousin.
She made a fabulous post that said, does the Bookmobile go to junior high and senior high? Or never mind, sorry. If the Bookmobile is going to these elementary schools, are they going to these elementary schools? Because if not, there aren't children old enough to check out the books in question at our elementary schools. Meaning so you're stopping there. Again, this book that we're all talking about, it's one in particular that I think a lot of community members take umbrage with, is this book is gay, primarily because of the context in it. It has nothing to do with being gay. It literally has to do with the pages that, direct children.
Graphic how to perform sexual acts.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, good handies,
Not
bad
age
handies,
appropriate
the mega combo handy.
Yeah.
so she's questioning, why would this even be on the Bookmobile when you're stopping at elementary schools? And their answer to that is, the Bookmobile has a variety for everyone. There's an adult section, there's a young adult section. We can't take these off during that time. Maria then asked, okay, well,
I got a bed sheet you can put over that section if you need it.
Yeah, because who is policing them? Now, there is a librarian on board, but when you have multiple kids on, are you patrolling everything? Everyone's argument also to this book is, if you're a parent, monitor what your kids read. Well, when we're putting the Bookmobile out in schools, we're not there.
Right.
We're at work.
Yeah.
So how are we able to monitor this?
Right.
To a degree? A next thing that she said, so she reached out to Anna Oakley, and that was kind of a back and forth. Anna Oakley said something that did not sit well with me. According to Maria, in a phone call, she said, this isn't even an issue yet, and you can deal with it when it becomes one. So
we've been talking about it for a while,
but
so I'd
speaking
say it's
of
already an issue.
preventative measures,
Yeah.
isn't a big part of parenting, and isn't a big part of rearing children preventative measures?
Yeah.
So to that, I question. And two, you're the front desk person. You're the lady or the person that everyone comes to, and instead of saying, this isn't an issue, thank you for your inquiry.
Yeah.
Let me get back to you on that.
Yeah.
Instead of that, it's just like Michelle and I were talking earlier, where customer service. We are paying for this.
Yeah.
Like at a donut shop, it was her example. When you come up to the donut shop counter and something's wrong, the customer's always right, no matter what.
Yeah.
You want to have people
wrong.
come back. Yeah, even when they're wrong, because you want people to come back to your donut shop. So I think if we want to have good faith in our public schools, we need to have a better response to concerned parents. Now, Maria updated her post and said later that she got a hold of Dr. Cal Lee, and he...
Interim superintendent.
Yep. And he was nothing but nice, listened to her concerns, and expressed that both he and Mayor Linda Moore are having meetings discussing about this. So the QPS thing is still up in the air. Like I said, Quincy Catholic Schools banned it. QPS, even though they said we're not, that's still up in the air. They are currently housing the Bookmobile from 4 to 4:30, like on their properties. They're not bringing kids in there. I don't really know how that works.
What?
Yeah, they decided later on, they're like, at first they were saying, hey, we'll park it here and for those children. But then she brought up the question, okay, well, these children are still under QPS care during that time for like the after-school programs and whatnot.
Yeah.
So technically, I still can't be there to monitor my kids. Are my kids going to be exposed to this? To which I believe they responded, now they're just parking there. We're not sending them out there unless you're allowed to. I'm not exactly sure
Well, it
how
seems
that
like
goes.
there's a lot of stuff up in the air, so probably we should make a decision before sending the Bookmobile out. I mean, I guess I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand why you're going to
question
park it if they're not going to go
Also,
in there.
would you have would these elementary schools or even junior, how they have like the book fairs?
Yeah.
Would they invite this book into their building for kiddos to check out or buy?
No way.
Not at the elementary age, absolutely not,
Yeah.
because again, this book, as it states on the back, is intended for 14 to 18-year-olds.
Okay.
So I don't think that would be
I
there.
went
But
to
then again,
plenty of book fairs as a parent at Adams School
Yeah, I didn't see
and
anything like
Monroe
this.
School, and I even went to some of the ones at St. Peter because my kids were PSR kids, so they went to those too. Yeah, no, it was always, hey, Alex wanted a Batman book, or Michelle wanted, Barney or whatever, So.
Yeah.
nothing surprises me, though, in regards to your question right there. I wouldn't be surprised, because I feel like we are living in this alternate universe where, I know we're not calling it pornography, but to me, I've read it front to back. It is pornography. Again, if it was a straight male author giving instructions on how to give a good and bad handy, and then handing it out to a
Underage
girl
girls.
underage, bam, you'd be jailed. But
Yeah.
but for some reason, this situation sits differently.
Well, because because even though we're saying that it's not directed at a specific demographic, it is being okayed because it is directed at this. So if we start talking negatively about it, then we're immediately homophobic. We
not
hate,
aligning with
we don't align
LGBTQ
with
violence.
free speech. And it's like, well, at some point we have to understand that moving the needle just slightly every time is normalizing something that probably, especially in this community, shouldn't be normalized.
No.
I mean, we are a big church community, very conservative for the most part. I'm not saying that we don't welcome other people, but we have to be aware that this probably isn't going to sit well with the majority of people. Those people pay taxes. Those taxes fund the library.
Those
so maybe
taxes
make
fund-
some decisions based on some of that.
Those taxes also fund QPS.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that when you you look at this issue, and I would hope at some point common sense does prevail. The book, there was a Supreme Court justice who one time said, I don't know the definition of pornography. I just know it when I see it. And
Yeah,
you
it's
look
subjective.
at this book, and it's like, yeah, okay, that kids should not see this. So again, if a bookmobile, I don't know. To me, the bookmobile is always for kids. I don't know that the bookmobile is for adults. Why wouldn't? And I don't even know why any adult material would be even on the bookmobile. Why wouldn't it just be? If somebody wanted to go read adult material, an adult, they should go to the library and read it. Why is it in the bookmobile in the first place?
I will say that most people will argue the bookmobile is
Accessibility.
Yes, accessibility. So there are some people, adults, that might not
accessibility,
be able to.
which I get, but you would think also with today's technology, that there would be a way to, separate.
There's also ebooks, but again, some people don't have the wherewithal to have an ebook.
But you can separate content, is what I'm saying.
Sure.
So you can have a section. We talked about it before. The nudie, when you go into Frese video or Family Video, and they had the section behind the swinging doors, like.
Yeah, let's have some curtains on
Obviously,
these
I'm going to
books.
peek, but I'm not allowed back there. So you have to have some safeguards when it comes to this content for kids whose parents don't want them to see that, but can't be there to monitor. It doesn't seem like it's that hard, but to fight over having it accessible to everyone is nonsensical to me.
I want to thank Maria for that post. Thank you for, bringing light to the situation. I think somebody, I'm not going to name who it was, kind of came in that was in QPS administration that's kind of admonished her for bringing this to social media and said, this is not the time or place, where I want to say back, you don't get to tell people when or when not they bring things to social media. Also, this book would have gone under everyone's radar had it not been brought to social media attention. Get your stories straight before you want social media to have that attention. I think there was a little back and forth saying, well, Anna didn't know this and so didn't know that. Well, I think you need to know these things before you are addressing the concerned parents. Like I said, come back with a thank you for your concern. I will
Let me look into that.
Let me look into that. I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, that's
the
the impulse reaction.
Well, and again, I think when I did the story and I had found out that this had gone on, I wanted to make sure I talked to the Quincy Catholic Schools folks, and I did. Chris Gill was very accommodating. The library took a little while to get to me because Natasha Will was gone apparently, but eventually I got stuff from them. And then Anna was very quick to say, QPS won't be prohibiting the bookmobile, basically is what she said to me. And again, everybody was very accommodating. Once they got to the library took a bit to get to it, but it's like and what people don't understand is there's sometimes people try to stonewall and they go, if I don't give them a response, they're not going to run the story. That's not how it works. And I said, I said, look, you've got until, I said, like 11:30 noon, whatever. I said, I'm running the story, but you need to give me a response by then. And they did. Again, they did. Well, 2 of the 3 did. And then the library came back, and the library tried to say that, well, you should have gotten in touch with our marketing person. No. When we've been covering all this other library kerfluffle, we were told by the library board president, oh, you need to go directly to the interim executive director. And I did, and she wasn't there. So we did what we even did what you asked us to do.
I do want to give the school board props, though. They did something recently that I really respect, and I think that it's a good thing, so I want to talk about it. The survey sent out to parents about the superintendent and qualities thereof that parents are looking for.
Did you say he's got to look like Lions coach Dan Campbell?
Hey, listen, I would say that would check my box, but there
are... Oh, I bet it checked your box.
There are
Hey!
I knew it was
there
coming.
are other boxes as a parent that I have to consider, right?
Stop saying boxes, please.
I love a good box. Anyway, all right. So
who doesn't? Stop.
Okay. Back to all seriousness. See, listen. Now we're getting.
Damn it,
Listen,
Ashley.
all right, so, but they did send out
Notice
a,
how I kept quiet during all
thank
that.
you, Randy.
Yes,
yes.
thank you, Randy.
Randy was a mature one. God
So
help us all.
they did send out a survey, and I think that when you have topics that should be discussed and parents should have a voice in those topics, this is the way to do it. Send out a
Yes.
survey. So maybe if parents are concerned about, if there's even a little bit of concern about this content on this Bookmobile, and it's going to be going to Quincy Public Schools, maybe we send out a survey and just see how are people feeling about this? Because we don't make up the decisions for everybody. But
I think
The
that
library
is-
doesn't want to know that.
well, it's too bad, man. When you're taxpayer funded and so is the school, then we should have a say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that solution that you just said of survey is something that hopefully Dr. Cowley and Linda Moore discuss. I want to thank both of them, too, for taking the time out to discuss this. Maria ended her post with saying a big thank you, saying, hey, this isn't completely resolved.
Sure.
But I got the response that I wanted from Dr. Cowley.
Yeah,
which-
and now there are eyes on it, and now there are people talking about it, which is necessary, even if certain people don't like that.
The last thing I'll say is crossing my fingers that we get a superintendent like Cowley.
Yeah, right. So thank you for your service. It's not always easy, but we appreciate you.
No.
Well, we've got to have another interim first, probably, and then they'll hire the other one. So we're going to get at least one more interim, probably. It can't be Cal. It's got to be somebody else because the rules they
Dan
can't serve.
Campbell. Check.
He's a little busy right now, trying to get his team in the playoffs.
yeah.
Ding, next subject.
Ding.
Okay, ding. The presidential markers that the Bicentennial Committee's put up, they are beautiful. I think they're great.
Very cool.
I was very surprised by the way that they couched it, saying sitting presidents who came to Quincy. They really made it a narrow band. And I guess, yes, Reagan came here before he was elected. Lincoln was here before he was elected. Kennedy was here before he was elected. And then, of course, we had Donald Trump, who was at the fairgrounds between his two terms. What are your thoughts on not including President Trump on the monument?
Was he the only one out of all those that you listed, or were the rest of those listed on there?
I don't think that any of those other ones I said were no, the ones that are listed are in the story. Carter, Rutherford B. Hayes,
Great name.
Clinton. I was there
Oh,
for that
God,
one.
I knew he was going
I
to
was
do
there
that.
for that one. Obama.
Jeez.
I was there for that one. I was there for the Obama. Nah, my Obama's not
I
very
was
good.
that was
Your
pretty
Obama's
bad.
not
That was
bad.
bad.
Yeah,
I could
it's
use
not
some
bad.
work. But
So,
okay, so
Clinton's much
originally I was like, okay, well they made it so that it was a sitting president visiting Quincy, and I came to you guys with that little nugget of info, and Brittany came back with, well, he landed it at
Yeah, he landed in Quincy Airport, but I guess I can see what they're saying with the whole he wasn't a sitting president at the
Okay,
time.
but not being a sitting president, but he was president before and he was president after. I think that kind of checks the box.
I don't think we've
I
ever
mean-
had a president. Would you quit talking about boxes for the love of God?
can't.
I don't think
Now
we've
I'm
had
on a roll,
another
baby.
president who was here after he was president. I don't think so. Unless Clinton came and played golf with Tony Cameron, because they used to be law partners together a gazillion years ago. But I don't think that's been the case. I don't think President Obama's been back since. So again, but I think the fact that he is, and again, trust me. I mean, I get it, but still, I think that Trump should have been included because he showed up and what you guys.
Maybe even with like an asterisk in his hair or something, so he'd be like, well, he wasn't, but he was.
I mean, you guys were there. I was
was
I was on
awesome.
a retreat weekend. I couldn't make it.
Many
Yeah,
people
there were like
were there.
7,000 people there.
So that's why I said one of the most, probably one of the most, I don't have factual numbers, but
Well,
one of the most
Clinton
attended
one,
events.
The Clinton one was down here in January. It was freezing cold, but there were still a ton of people here for that
Were
one.
there
That
more
was in 2000.
there, do you think, than the
Probably not.
fairgrounds?
Probably not.
So
Probably
that's
not.
the other thing. This was held, the Trump rally was held at the Adams County Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
Now, I understand, like you said, the whole thing was about Quincy, but this is Adams County
It's the Adams County Bicentennial. Absolutely.
And you held this at our Adams County Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
I know that like not everyone is aligned with Trump, but it's a marker on the map. Like
I guess I'd have to see who's all on this committee that decided this monument so I can say something's fishy.
Well-
or if it was really, yeah. You know what I mean?
Anyway,
'Cause
I think
it doesn't have
yeah.
to be, we don't have to like dissect it, but the writing is on the monument or not.
or not. Or
So
not.
there you go.
Dang, next subject.
Speaking of visits by prominent
yeah.
We are getting a visit from Governor Pritzker on Monday to kind of do the ribbon cutting official opening of the Veterans Home. I'm having brunch with the governor at 10. He's giving me my Muddy River News marching orders for all of our content we're supposed to do for the next 2 months. So I'll be taking my marching orders from the governor like all you idiots think I do.
Oh, I was like, I hope you're being facetious because
is
we're
being
about to get
so
blasted.
facetious.
They're all like, oh.
Okay, yeah. I was
No.
like, holy shit.
I'm not even covering the event. I'm going to go to the event. Michelle.
Check the parking lot for pitchforks and
Oh, yeah, man.
Michelle and Aspen are covering the event. Should some folks show up in protest, we will cover that. But again, in that same line of covering protests, then, if we cover that protest, shouldn't we cover the No Kings protest on Saturday that's going to be outside of Mary Miller's office that is part of a whole national No Kings protest? Again, so much stuff going on and trying to cover everything. And again, we are not the most, we've got a really, really good team. We just don't have a whole lot of bodies.
We're weak.
So again, I'm going to show up and just because I think I need to be there because it's the governor, and I would have shown up if it was Governor whoever, it doesn't matter. But Michelle and Aspen are going to be doing the work, and then
You're doing your morning muddy from there, remember?
I'm doing my morning muddy from there.
Reminder.
Oh, you're doing the morning muddy from there, aren't
Oh,
No,
shoot.
I
We'll
have
figure that out later,
No,
guys.
I have to fill in for Ashley. All you, Boo.
She's Ashley. I'll be back here for that, and then we got something else to do, and then but yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, and again,
But the Veterans Home is
we got $300 million from the state,
incredible.
and I drove out there the other day.
investment.
Also, did you know that they have a roundabout?
Yeah,
Yeah.
People
I did
use
know
it.
that.
People
Yeah.
struggle with it.
I don't struggle with it. I use it just fine.
Okay.
So, but all those
Got
new
it,
buildings, I went out and took a look. They're beautiful. And
Yeah,
again,
they're cool.
we don't get that. And again, I don't agree with the governor on a lot of stuff either. But at some point, you have to remember you are never going to secede. You're always going to be a part of Chicago. Just deal with it. You've got to learn how to live with it. And again, protest all you want. God love you. Do that. But again, you have to remember that we are still part of the state of Illinois, and you've got to be able to get things from there. Do you just want Jill Tracy and Kyle Moore and C.D. Davidsmeyer and all of our other reps to sit there and just beat their head against the wall because they're trying to bring funding? We need a new bridge out here at some point, all the other stuff going on. Do you just want them to sit there and bitch, piss, and moan, and then the state's like, oh, sorry, got no money for Adams County?
We hate Adams County.
We have to get along to some degree.
Yeah.
We can argue and we can vote against stuff and we can say, I don't like what you do with immigrants and I don't like your stance on abortion or life or whatever. But at some point you have to realize there has to be some common grounds because there's still things we need because we are in the state of Illinois. You're not going to get Adams County cut out and move over to Missouri, although I think that'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
I just know that's not going to happen.
But I think in short, if you're going to protest, it is your right. I would stick to the facts. If you don't like agenda, if you don't like policy, stick to that. I wouldn't go full bore on name calling and personal attacks, which I've seen happen. Protesting is your right.
Well,
but
the Trump supporters who call Pritzker, who yell about Pritzker's weight's really funny because let's face it, the president ain't svelte. Okay.
Well, it is the state of America these days. So let's just. Yeah. I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it. But you do have a right to say.
Show up with a sign that says we're tired of paying higher taxes. Show up with this. Do this. Yes, you have plenty of gripes to have with this guy, and you can voice them in a positive, tactful fashion. But yelling at him and yelling at his weight and all the other stuff is just stupid.
Yeah, it's not going to do any good, especially not for the funding that we're probably going to need.
This money, this $300 million is for our veterans.
Veterans
and you
and
people
elderly.
who claim to be such supporters of our veterans, guess what? This is for them.
So with that, think about your community, think about the veterans, think about the fact that J.B. Pritzker is a human being.
Yeah.
Everyone has feelings. And I know you're like, oh, I don't care if I hurt his feelings. Well, guess what? Hurting his feelings is going to hurt our community in the long run. When a grant comes on his desk and it says Quincy, Illinois or Adams County, he's going to be like, F those people.
Those signs are going to flash in his head
Yeah.
and he's going to not check that box.
And because you needed to, say that, you might ruin that for us. Please don't ruin these things.
But also, this is, a lot of these people are really the fuck your feelings crowd. That's all they said. And I think, these are the same people, although if anybody said anything, God forbid, about Charlie Clerk, it's like, oh my God, can't say that. So,
Kirk.
Whoever.
All right.
Kirk, yes, Charlie Kirk.
Yes.
So, anyway, please say that. I meant to say Kirk.
I know
Clerk,
you did. Yes,
I did.
yes,
Anyway,
yes,
I was all fired up. So,
yes, I know.
Anyway, just try to get along Monday. Show up and protest all you want, but just don't be a asshole.
Keep it
Don't
factual.
ruin this
Keep it-
for our community.
Have some couth, have some scruples.
That's not a problem. So
Yeah.
so you want to say box one more time before we go?
Check that box, baby.
Speaking of community, we're getting ready to talk to two young members of the community. It is, as we are recording this, National Bosses Day. Happy National Boss
Aw,
Day.
we got you nothing.
Yeah.
Aw, you got us.
Your presence is all I need.
That's right.
And so I'm looking forward to chatting with them about how they decided to become their own bosses at such a young age.
Very cool.
We'll be back.
What have you been missing on Muddy River Gems? You won't believe your eyes. My crew and I have been bringing you stories for more than 20 years on PBS and now Muddy River News. And we're just getting started.
All right, joining us now, Ian Frese and Jackson Lilli. Welcome, you guys. I hear that
thanks
you're
for having
super
us.
stoked.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Okay.
excited.
So
I'm excited.
I'm really stoked. Okay, so
Checking out your shirts right now. I forgot to mention my shirt before, so I'm plugging this real quick. Boom.
boom. QJHS, Comets, cross country.
Yep, they're headed to state as we speak. They're doing their practice run right now, and they have state tomorrow, but there's like a huge rainstorm coming in. So
Yeah,
cross
well.
your fingers, but this is what my attire's for. Let's talk about your attire.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Matchy matchy.
Yeah.
Your
Twinsies,
We are
twinsies.
twinning.
Bazool.
Twinning.
All right, FNL land management. Okay, so can I start with the? I don't want to be inappropriate, but how old are you guys?
22.
22.
All right, 22 years old. FNL, I assume, thanks to Brittany cluing me in, Frese and Lilli, right?
Your detective work
be
already
right,
knew
yep.
that. I'm sorry.
My detective work is spot on.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so you guys are entrepreneurs, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And F&L management is a brainchild of yours. Tell me a little bit about what you guys do.
Well, we kind of, if we want to backtrack a little bit, so we started, we were going to do just land clearing. We were originally F&L land clearing. That's what we were going to stick to as our ball game. But then kind of came around, we're like, okay, if we want to really get jobs and get going, we probably need to broaden our spectrum a little bit, offer a little more services. So now we do excavation, culvert installation, dozer work, just about anything excavation.
Okay,
yeah.
very cool. So as
What
20
does excavation mean?
Well, I guess it depends how you word it. How would you describe excavation?
It's kind of a broad spectrum.
Yeah.
tearing up land, clearing up land?
That,
I mean, yeah.
Digging,
Yeah,
dirt
digging,
work.
Yeah.
moving dirt.
Right.
There's a whole lot of different things you can do with a few pieces of machines. So
Okay, so when we're talking about excavation and land clearing, what was kind of your aha moment that you were like, we can do this and we can do it well?
Oh, this is actually kind of funny. I remember the day. So I was sitting on my computer and I was typing up business names. I was like, because at first he wasn't in the picture yet. And I was like, okay, Frese Forestry Services. That's where it all was. I remember I sent him a picture on Snapchat and he saw it. He was like, what do you got going there? And I kind of explained to him what I was thinking and whatnot. And he's like, well, hell, I'll go in on it with you. And we're like, okay, well, let's do this thing. And then so, that was kind of like our thing. And he had the more so the knowledge on the excavation side because I wasn't as knowledgeable in that,
Okay.
service. And then I, kind of have the more business side, working on the wing of my dad and being able to take that in. So that's where it kind of all meshed together. And we're like, all right, I think we can do this and we can make it work pretty well.
And
So-
it's worked
Yeah.
perfectly.
This is going to be a positive partnership.
Yes.
So when you want to know what Snapchat's good for,
There it is.
Exactly,
Okay.
right,
it is.
So, so your aha moment was kind of like, well, there's a need that needs filled in this community,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And we're going to fill it, and we're going to do it damn well. How long have you been in business?
This will be
Year and a half?
Yeah.
Close to, about a
Almost
year and a
2
half.
years.
Yeah,
Okay.
almost two.
almost 2.
All
how's
right.
business going?
Good.
Really good.
Yeah, it's gone it kind of started off slow. Obviously when you first start, it's kind of like, when are they going to start coming? When are the jobs going to start? It was like 6 months.
It was 6 months before we ever got our first job.
Really?
Oh yeah.
And there was times in there where we were ready to be done.
Yeah.
Because it's like, we've been doing this, we're running, all these advertisements and stuff, and it's like, we've gone and looked at a few jobs, but we haven't landed them. And then we finally got our first one, and then recently, it's really probably been, over the past 3 months, it's kind of skyrocketed in terms of, we've been booked out for the next month and a half pretty much.
Nice.
That's the first time we've really gotten to that point of, being just booked out and having a lot of stuff going. So.
Dude.
What Muddy River News
Yep.
can do
Is that
for
advertisement?
you.
Okay.
We landed these fine gentlemen as great sponsors, supporters of the locally owned news source is how I look at it when we talk about advertisement, because at Muddy River News we are about local, helping local. And as soon as I heard about you and your
venture,
I was like, I need to get him going on this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Also, what he just mentioned before, his dad. So his dad is Tommy Frese. He is a neighbor to us. Hi, Tommy.
He lets us use the bathroom. I don't know.
Yes,
if
you
you
know
know that,
He's the
but
bathroom lender.
he's pretty awesome.
But you both are running a business while working second jobs.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
Ian, you are working with your dad over at Tri-City Sports. Tell me
Yep.
a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's it's fun. I enjoy working for my dad, to say the least. But it kind of got to a point where I had, he kind of showed me the ropes as far as this is how you deal with customers, this is how you do invoices, this is how you, and it slowly built up. And I was like, I think this is something I could potentially do, and I had always been kind of pondering the idea of, okay, I want to kind of start an excavation company. So I kind of took the things that he mentored me with, and then tried to branch off, and then now we're here. Now it has been tough. Him and I can both oppose to that with working a job and then also trying to build a company, especially at the point we're at now where we're starting to get really busy. Well, he's working up in Carthage.
Yeah, Jackson,
I'm working over here.
Talk about your job real quick. Tell me
Shout
a little
out
bit about
House Right Construction.
Yeah, construction.
Yeah, we do construction in Carthage. So I'm driving 45 minutes every day,
Cool.
Wow.
there and back.
Well, so I think one of the things that you mentioned, it does take consistency. It takes resilience when you're trying to start a business. It's not going to
Absolutely.
come right away, but I admire the fact that you kept pushing through, waiting for the big moment. Now, when you're talking about different jobs that you do, what is your typical clientele? Who calls you for this stuff, and who would call you?
That's a really good question.
Okay,
I would
sorry
say
if I'm
there.
getting,
No, that's a really good question. I think he can attest this too. It goes from kind of rural, outer areas, who want we've done a lot of pasture clearing, a lot of forestry mulching, which
Okay.
is clearing up underbrush, and then recently we've been starting to dive into more site preparations like dozer work, stuff like that, which we just got for example, like S&S Storage Solutions is one that we just landed out on by Casey's on the 24th, and so
Sweet.
it kind of varies. I would say business owners who are looking to also expand their property, or just anyone really just wanting,
Developers.
developers,
Yeah.
land development, anything, or even just homeowners.
Sure.
Or just like, hey, I have this piece of land, I want to open it up, make it more usable.
Yeah.
And that's where we come in, and
Yeah.
we do exactly that for them.
And we're not afraid to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll try.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is the beauty of a small company, especially
Yep.
local, when
Yep.
you're like, you know what? Give us a shot. We'll tackle it. And I guarantee we'll do it well.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
what I
Right?
say all the time about being local too, and not having a chain head over you
Oh,
where
right.
you have to adhere to certain things. The best part about, with Muddy River, we can be creative. The best part, like what you just said, hey, I can take on whatever.
Yeah.
I noticed just recently you guys did a project with trails, like clearing out
Oh, yep.
trails for people.
Yep.
So that's another thing these guys do. I know it's trail season because everyone wants to have their Halloween trail
Yeah.
spooky season thing
Ooh,
going
I never
on.
thought about that.
Oh, they did an amazing clearing of some trails. I also have just so many friends that have large land and they want to have that trail for, I guess their four-wheelers, their
Sure.
Yep,
just,
absolutely.
walking their dogs in their own property where
Sure.
it's a trail. And I
Yep.
think that itself is pretty cool that you guys can make this happen for people that have large properties where you give them their own little slice of heaven.
It's a little thing, not a little thing, it's something you don't think about. So if we're building a home, let me just give you a for instance, because I want to make sure I kind of understand the breadth of what you guys can offer. So if I'm building a home, and currently it's sitting on acreage that may be wooded, would I call you guys? To like clear it out? That's kind of an example of what you could do.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like there are developers, not just residential, but commercial, also Parks and Rec, that are looking to build out these trails. So that was why, that's why people would call you. Very, very cool. All right, Brittany, what were you doing at 22?
Okay, that was a
Listen, I had to blindside you with it because...
Thanks. Well, yeah, I was the normal 21, 22-year-old being like, yeah, I get to go to the bars. So I'm going to the bars, I'm bartending, and then I'm, going to the bars. So, it is pretty impressive that I was telling her, I'm like, these guys are like 21, 22 years old, and they are literally doing something that most people couldn't even fathom. What were you doing at 21, 22?
Same as you. I think I saw you.
You're not going to extend on that and tell me?
No, I mean, I saw you everywhere I went, so obviously we had the same mindset. Now, I will say that in today's age, entrepreneurship and starting your own business, whether it's, and I don't want to discount influencers or, but it takes resiliency, it takes dedication, it takes consistency, but it seems like nobody wants to work for a boss, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to have the man looking over them. But I think people kind of underestimate how much work that takes and how much you really have to continue pushing forward. So you alluded to it a little bit before.
We definitely underestimated it.
Yeah.
I will say that.
By a long shot.
All right.
So
it's been rough.
Hold yourselves accountable.
Oh, yeah.
How does that work?
Oh, I mean, it's tough. I think him and I can both kind of attest this too. It's like, you can't even only look at how you perform on a job or, the end result, but you also look at what do you do when you're out in public spaces? What do you, like people see that in a different kind of light. Say you go out, you do something stupid. Everyone sees that and they're like, it all links back now because, you have other things you have to worry about, maintaining your image and your reputation throughout customers and through potential future customers, so it gets kind of, you have to be weary of what you're doing. You have to, you got to be smart and you got to really look at, okay, when I'm out and if you're sitting at Starbucks, something that you say out loud, say there's someone over there who's looking for your service, you say something that they didn't like very much. Are they probably going to call you for a job? No, they're probably going to cut you loose.
They don't check the box.
No,
they don't check the box.
Not check the box.
That's why we're not asking controversial questions here because we're not trying to, limit your customer basis. You did mention before, it was Ian. Ian told me something a long time ago when we first got together. You said something like, I'm striving to be Reese Construction big. And I loved that because he, gave the local example of how big he wants to be. Shout out to Reese Construction, they're amazing.
Absolutely, they do a great job.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
But the fact that you're like, I aspire to be this, how do you think you're going to get there?
A lot of hard work and resilience, like you guys kind of touched on. I mean, that is a long road of building customers, and it's tough because like I was kind of telling you when we had talked about it, you drive down about a mile down any road on Quincy, you're going to see a Reese Construction piece of equipment sitting on the road. So that takes years and years and years of hard work to get to that point. But that's what him and I have both kind of strived to get to is let's not. Obviously, we love where we're at now. We love that the business is growing, but we have goals and kind of a structure of like, okay, in 5 years where we want to be, in 10 years where we want to be, and that's kind of the thing that's kept us pushing of like, we're not there yet. We got to keep going.
I think that's what makes a successful business.
Yeah, building clients and gaining their trust, and that's all part of it too. They got to be able to trust you to perform
and you're there to do that.
Yeah,
I love it.
Jackson, you said Ian contacted you via Snapchat and he was like, let's do this. All right, so when you said let's do this, do you have experience with heavy machinery? Like, how do you guys are like, did somebody teach you this? Like, where does this come from? I don't even know.
I kind of got thrown into it. I've been in construction for 7-8 years now, running machinery, doing this, doing that. So I've been thrown into all of it, and I never got taught.
Really?
It was just go sit in this machine, figure
Trial
it out.
by fire.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I think that's also how.
Which sometimes is pretty great because
I love the way of learning.
Yeah.
I would rather do that than be told.
Because you're not bringing bad habits from somewhere else. You're
Right.
learning on your own. You're learning how to figure things out, which I think it goes back to owning a business, right? You don't necessarily, nobody knows what the hell they're doing when they start a business.
Okay.
No class can teach you. Bob, yes, even you, buddy.
Yeah.
No class can teach you how to effectively run a business,
Yeah.
whether it's a
Yeah.
news organization or a land management organization. You have to kind of figure out, because there's a niche for every business, and every single customer in every one of those niches has a different want, has a different need. They have different expectations.
Yep,
As you
absolutely.
mentioned,
Yeah.
you have to be aware of how you conduct yourself in public, which
Yep.
is probably different as 22-year-olds.
Oh,
when
yeah.
you're like,
And that's even harder because,
Yeah.
Yeah, it
who we're
is.
surrounded with, we got all our buddies, we're 22,
Yes.
they
We're
were out to the
young.
bar, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And it
they
gets
want to
tough.
pull a Brit Nash,
Yeah.
but you can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I mean, that's just how it goes. But it's like,
Yes.
you know, even if you do decide, okay, you know, I'm going to go have a few drinks with my buddies, you still have to be cautious.
Yes.
It's like you never know who is in the same room as you.
Potential
Who
customers.
could
might
be
listening.
potentially
Right.
calling your phone and see you do something dumb and be like, okay, I'm not going to call that guy. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, that's all it takes, too,
Right.
for a lot of people. That's
Yeah,
all it takes.
absolutely. Okay, so in speaking in the light of challenges, and I don't want to uncover anything, but obviously you're buddies since you
Oh, yeah.
talked about this
Oh,
on
yeah.
Snapchat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, how long have you been friends?
Oh dear.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I like that answer.
15 years, probably?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were probably 6 or 7.
6 or
when-
7.
Where'd you
yeah.
guys meet?
So
Our
my
sisters.
our sisters. So my sister Cameron and his sister Michaela were best friends, and then they
So
both
then you
danced.
actually
Shout out
had to be,
Cameron.
you
Yeah.
had
Shout
to
out-
be best
yeah.
Yeah,
Michaela.
no, literally, yeah.
Yes.
And then I remember, and this is gonna be funny because he might not even remember this, but so when we were younger, we made what did we do? The mini. You remember guys like the mini basketball hoops?
Yeah.
That you could
Yeah.
hang up over your door.
Oh, yeah, I tore
Him
them
and
all the
I.
time.
This was our first entrepreneurial, little experience. We would make YouTube videos of doing
I
like
do.
funny slam dunks and like crazy slam dunks. And
cinnamon
we'd post
challenge.
them on YouTube.
Yep.
And we'd do like a cinnamon challenge on YouTube.
I was going to
This
ask
goes
you if it was
way
like
back.
TikTok videos.
Yeah.
You guys
Okay.
were,
People are gonna be
Way
looking
back.
for that now.
Yeah, they
that's
probably
awesome.
are.
Listen, okay.
So we're gonna uncover those and
Yes.
we're gonna show them here later.
We're,
No, I'm
we're
just
doing
I
our
hope
own
not.
excavating here with their videos. No, I think
yeah.
that's incredible. But okay, so along in that same light, obviously there are going to be challenges. Since you're friends, a lot of times they say that partnerships kind of sink ships
Yep.
when
Yep.
it comes to friendships. So
Yep.
And I've
how-
heard that a lot.
right?
I've heard
So
that a lot.
when you're talking about challenges, obviously you have to be aware of your personal how you're putting yourself out there. But what other challenges are you coming in contact with that maybe you didn't even take into account?
Oh, probably quite a few. I know you can probably touch on this too, but honestly, dealing, at least from my experience, is how to handle customers.
Yeah.
I think, like, I wasn't really expecting it to be as brutal as it was, but it's like,
Yeah.
when you go out and you meet a customer, a lot of times, you send them a bid, right? Say it's for, I don't
Sure.
know, $1,500, right? Well, a lot of times, not only are they going to be looking at the price, but they're going to look at, say, Jackson and I go out. If we're personable with them and we
Sure.
relate with them, have conversation. A lot of the time, they're going to be like, okay, well, this guy came out. They were super nice, friendly. We made conversation. And this guy came out and he's like, kind of a dick.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, here's what my price is, just leaves. You know what I mean? Like, that was kind of one of the big eye-openers for me is like people, in a lot of sense, look at who you are
Relationship
and how you
building.
can, and building a relationship with them versus just, I'm just here to get your money.
Yeah.
And then leave.
Yeah.
And I think that was my biggest thing as far as kind of a learning curve was like, okay, how do you manage dealing with customers in any sense?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bringing it back to the first round, customer service.
Yeah.
Being that front desk person, being
Yep.
the person that answers. It's not easy. I never said it was easy by any means. The QPS lady has her hands full with that
Yep.
because
Oh, yeah.
there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of things,
Yep.
and you guys have your hands full because, like you just said, you were kind of looking at it like, oh, we're excavators, we're
Yep.
running
Right.
heavy machinery, and like you're like, yeah, we can do this, but
But you could be talking to me who doesn't know jack shit about it. So I'm
Yeah.
looking at,
Yeah.
are these guys polite? Are they going to come into my space and be courteous, be friendly, be respectful? And I think that, okay, I don't want to speak for you, but as younger gentlemen, do you have people who look at you like, oh, maybe they're
These
too
are just
green?
kids.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
kids,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, just getting our feet
Yeah.
wet.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Yep.
we definitely.
First impressions are everything, and we'll
Yes.
say that. You show up, like he said, you show up and you're a dick. I mean, you're not. you're not giving a good first impression. So I mean, you show up, make conversation, keep the homeowner happy, and hear what they want. I mean, like I said, first impressions are everything.
Yeah, and follow through, obviously. So making sure that, because I think that's, everybody wants to have a business. Everybody wants to do it. But when it comes to the hard work that it takes.
And actually doing it.
Doing the work, following up on.
The follow through is what we never see.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
That was, kudos to you, though, for, like, getting outside of your box.
Check that box, baby.
And, you know, going into that customer care service, I will attest and tell you that if you guys do want to hire these guys, they make you feel comfortable. They make you feel like, you know, you feel safe. Because the fact of the matter is, you know, when you're bringing people to come in on your property and do things, it is your home.
Yeah.
And that's, so, you know, with that,
Yeah.
outside of the business round. Ian, I ran into you a little earlier when I was using the facilities and asked you.
Check that box.
Check that box. Okay, so I asked you, what do you guys do in your spare time? And he's like, we both have 2 jobs.
What spare time?
What spare time? All we do is
Yeah.
work. And then I reminded Ian, hey, you're 22 years old. You gotta have something else.
Yeah.
So, to both of you, let's talk about a little bit about what you do in your spare time outside of F&L land management.
Yeah. You can go ahead. You can tell them about that big buck you just shot.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, you're
October
a hunter.
7th, killed a big one.
All right.
But yes, I am a very big hunter. I love hunting.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a part of me. And then we both love to golf.
Okay.
We do golf a lot.
Are you good?
Yeah.
I will say,
Depends on the day.
Yes, yes,
Depends
yes.
on the day.
I was terrible, and shout out to Blaze Axel if you're watching this.
Yeah,
I got
Blaze.
golf lessons from Blaze, and I tell you
R&R.
what, it shot me up through the roof. As far as I was god awful when
Yeah.
I started playing. I
Yeah,
was like,
you
"Man,
weren't very.
I was,
You were an Ashley.
I was so bad.
You were an Ashley.
And I was like,
Okay.
okay. I was like, at this point, I could either just take it on the chin or go finally get some golf lessons, buck up and pay somebody to finally be somewhat decent at this sport.
It
did
worked.
work.
It did
Listen,
work.
Yeah.
Blaze, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Blaze.
Maybe that will, benefit you in the future when you have really big
Big clients.
Yeah.
They
clients.
love
You
golf.
have to
take them
take
out
them
golfing.
They do.
golf.
They do
Yeah.
love golf.
That's
Oh,
an
yeah.
investment.
Absolutely, it
Back
is.
to your hunting thing, do you see a lot of hunters? That's another thing that they can do. Like like I said before, the trails, blazing the trails,
Yeah.
making
Yep.
it happen. Do you, is that something that maybe you guys will look into in the future? Is like saying, hey, hunters.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
we
100%.
have.
Yeah,
Have you
we
done
have.
any hunting land where?
Yeah, we've made trails, food plots, anything. I mean, we've done it.
So what's
Yeah.
your biggest job thus far?
It would be
You don't
our
have
most.
to call out like customers or anything.
Oh no,
if you
it
don't
would
want
be
to,
it would be our most recent
Our
one
most
that we've
recent
got
will
where
be-
we're doing a big dozing and demolition and tree removal job.
Yep.
but okay.
That would be that's our biggest one we've landed as
it's
of
locally?
thus far. Yep, it's here in town.
Now, how far do you guys span your business? How far are you willing to go? And is it just the two of you?
Yes,
It is just-
as of
Okay.
now. Yeah, it's just
All
him
right.
and I. I don't know. I mean, we've traveled. What was it? Probably an hour. I would say like a 60-mile radius is probably pretty. Now, if it was something on a larger scale, I'd
Yeah.
be like, okay, we can maybe look at.
Yeah.
We'll play some golf while
Yeah,
we're there.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe they
Weekend
got
of
a
it.
nice course over there. We can maybe go try out.
Hell
but
yeah. That's
I'd say it depends. Because you got to take into fact. Say there's someone 60 miles away, and it's like at that point, like we have a buddy Levi Womack who's over in Bowling Green, does
Sure.
a very similar service to us.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's like we kind of try to take it into aspect too of like by
You
the
don't wanna
time
step on
we load it up.
toes.
No, not even that, but just like by the time we load up our equipment, get over there and do the job,
Fuel
you're going to be
costs.
more expensive.
Oh, price.
Yeah.
Versus
price
like, hey, I
equivalency.
could just recommend you to
Sure.
somebody nearby in the area. But now, if it's within 60 miles, I'd say we would definitely take into doing it. But
Yep.
yeah, but like over there, we just usually give them to our good buddy Levi, and he does great work too.
Woolbag
Again,
Enterprises.
another reason why I love these guys, local, helping local, making
Yeah.
connections. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's very, very cool. Now, do you guys have, and we don't have to shout them out by name, but do you have competitors locally, or is this kind of a
No,
one-off?
not-
Yeah.
I mean,
got the
Levi,
market
if we-
cornered?
but I wouldn't consider Levi a
No.
competitor because he's one of
No.
our good buddies. Like we've
Sure.
both helped each other
Yeah.
Work it out.
with a ton of stuff,
Yeah.
So, and that's why I kind of had the idea at first of like, nobody around here is really doing this.
Sure.
Like as far as the land clearing specific, so that's why we kind of started up on that specific portion. But then, I think having it as starting out as that, and then that kind of labeled it as, okay, we do this.
Yeah.
But then switching over to land management is like also like, okay, we do land clearing, but we also can do all of these things
Sure.
as well.
Sure.
And I think that has kind of helped with sprouting it. And then now we've had quite a few land clearing jobs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Even not on like, large scale, but even just doing like forestry mulching, things
Sure.
along those lines, clearing underbrush. And so, it's finally all kind of started to click and
Yeah.
come together.
Well,
Fall
and
into place.
okay,
Yeah.
so barely 2 years, and you're talking about it. You're clicking. Things are working. That is good news.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's laying the groundwork.
Pun intended.
Yep.
For your 5-year plan. And you mentioned that Reese, which I think is such a cool inspiration to have something local. But what steps are you taking to get to that next level? What are you trying to do? And it doesn't have to be specific, but you're trying to expand in different ways. So obviously being a part of Muddy River News is a really
That was
good
a big
first
one.
step,
Yes,
right?
that was a big one
Okay.
too.
And we don't have to pat ourselves on the back. I'll pat you.
No, I'm thanking
Pat,
them
pat,
though,
pat,
too.
pat, pat,
Like,
pat, pat.
thank you so much for entrusting, your locally owned news source
Yep,
with
absolutely.
the advertisement. I think we're gonna be pumping you up as hopefully.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All day,
yeah.
every day, baby.
Yeah.
Check
Yeah.
that box. All right. I've done enough. I've done enough. Okay. So I don't want to speak for you, but do you have things that you plan on putting in place? Maybe new equipment, new people? Are you planning on expanding your team? What are you going to do to take that next step?
I think equipment's a
Yeah,
big thing.
equipment's
It's
the
just,
first one, definitely. Yeah.
Step by step, each piece we need.
Yeah.
Save.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been the hardest part too, is because when you're starting to build, it's like, okay, you got to get that first piece, and then once you get that first piece, then it becomes easier to get the second. Because
Gotta
every
spend
time
money
that
to
we had to
make
go
money,
out,
baby.
yeah,
And
that's
it's
the
not
thing.
cheap. It is not cheap
No.
at all.
Because
No.
like we started out renting equipment, we got to think every time we go out and rent, there's X amount per day
Yep.
that's coming out of your pocket.
Yep.
But it takes time and it takes saving up enough, and then
Right.
once you get that first piece, okay, well that takes that chunk out that we
Yep.
have to pay somebody else for,
Right.
and then that makes it easier to save for the next, and that's
Yeah.
that's really been our main goal as of now, is let's start building up our equipment, getting more stuff,
Sure.
and then we can start really shooting for the stars after
Yeah.
that, because
Absolutely.
that's the first little baby steps you got to cover, and then after that you can really kind of start to get rolling. So
Absolutely. Very, very good.
I have a weird land excavation
Oh, boy.
question.
They
right.
charge for consultation, Brittany, just FYI.
No, they don't.
free quotes
an hour.
Free quotes,
Beer,
everybody.
beer.
Hey, free.
Yep.
Okay, so I have large trees on my property.
Bushes, I think, is what you
No,
mean. Oh, okay,
trees. They're we call them trash trees because they,
Accumulate garbage bags like
Yeah.
American Beauty.
Sure,
Yeah.
totally. Can you cut down large trees
Yeah.
when you're
Oh yeah.
really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever cut a large tree off of a hanging bluff?
We have. Down on 57. We
Yeah,
did that
yeah.
one. Yeah, we
Really?
have.
Yeah, we did.
Like,
we did.
okay, so
Is
Quincy's
this a love connection? I feel it. I feel it.
Quincy is full of bluffs.
It is.
I live on
Yep.
one. I think the last guy I hired was not insured. Where there are so many trees in that bluff view that I know businesses like the Elks. We were just there the other
Yep.
day. They're probably
need it
getting
clean.
ready for a tree trimming and stuff
Especially-
like that.
Yep.
That can you do tree trimming?
Yes.
Yes.
ma'am.
So
Yeah.
like
Now we
just the
can.
tops off?
Yep.
Yep. That, or
Wow.
we could knock them
Lop
all the
her
way
off.
down,
Yeah.
and
Dig 'em
whatever the customer
Guess
would
who
want.
I'll be calling soon.
Clearing
Yeah.
is clearing is clearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to clear it up.
But no,
Yeah, we are.
that is a huge service. I don't think very many people know that is part of it too when it comes
Yep.
to
Yep.
this. But I know obviously I was looking for it, but I've had other people say like, who does this anymore? It's almost like a loss.
Non-existent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you who does. Who you going to call?
Effing.
We don't have to
Yeah.
come up with a song, but so
Like a little jingle.
right?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not saying I'm for hire, but I'm for hire.
All right.
We'll have to
We'll
put
keep
that
that in
on our
mind.
voicemail.
Yeah, we will.
Put it on your expense list, boys.
Yep.
All right. So I will say that being an entrepreneur, especially in today's world, is tough. I give you guys so many props, not just because you're doing something that you're fulfilling a need in our community, which is incredible, but you're doing it at such a young age that is no doubt going to lay a really great foundation for improving, growing. You have really good heads on your shoulders.
Yep.
Yep.
I think that it's only up from here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
You want to hire some go-getters, hire
Yeah.
these guys.
please, and they're young, so they don't get worn out as quickly.
That's
That's
what
true,
I was
yeah.
gonna say, too.
We got a little more pep in our
You
step.
do.
Yeah, that we
Listen,
do.
I love it. Hey,
Forever.
Yeah.
I want to cheers to you guys for today as we are recording this. Like I said before, it is National Bosses Day.
Yep.
Day.
You decided to become your own bosses right out of the bat, and I cannot admire that more than I do. I'm just like,
Very, very cool. Meanwhile, we're still here having cocktails.
Yeah.
We're 22. Hey, listen,
we're having cocktails like we were 22, and we have a boss. And but he is a good
He's
boss.
pretty rock
He's a pretty
solid.
good
Yeah,
boss.
he's
Hey.
hiding over there though. He's, a
He's
little,
hiding.
But he
He
keeps
is hiding.
popping out. Yeah, but okay, so it takes an idea, fulfilling a need, drive, of course, ambition, resiliency. You guys seem to have it all. I wish you nothing but the best in the future.
Yeah,
We
thank
really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. F&L Land Management, they do it all, and no job's too big or too small. Here I go with the jingles again, guys.
Hey, I like that
I
one.
do like
I like
that.
it.
That's a good
cut
one.
it out, guys. Cut it
I
out.
like
That's
that.
what. Hey,
box.
check the box,
Yep, check the
guys.
box.
No, cut it out. That's what they do. Ah, there's another one.
Hey,
Dude,
we
I
got
just,
it out.
I'm fucking full of them. All right. Well, listen, I don't know if we can go up from there. So
No,
yeah.
no.
All right. Hey,
All
cheers
right.
to you guys.
Check all the
Cheers.
Check all the boxes.
Yep.
If you need any land clearing, land management, get a hold of F&L. My buddies Jackson and Ian here. They have you covered.
Free quotes.
Yep.
Free quotes.
Free quotes.
Cheers.
Icing on the goddamn cake. There we go. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
Cheers
thanks
for
for
coming
having
on.
us.
Thank you. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
joining us on Club Muddy.
Yep.